Hi everyone, my name is Nicola and I am simply a stitcher. Welcome back to my channel. It's lovely to have you here, and if you're new around here, and a special warm welcome for you today. So today it's the 1st of November. Where is this year going? 2022, and this is a Flosstube. Oh god, let me just have a look at the number. Can't remember what number it is. Flosstube 23. So I have a few things to show you today. I have a pile of work in progresses. I've worked on 5 pieces. I have one finish, I have one new start, and I also have some Stitchy kindness to show you as well. So without further ado, we're just going to get straight on in there because it's 7:30, just after 7:30 in the morning. I'm working today, I've got lots to do, so I just want to let's get cracked on. Okay, so what have I been working on this fortnight? So the last time that I did a Flosstube, terrible. I'd worked on 4 of the projects that I've continued to work on this time, and I picked up an older whip as well. So let's start with the oldest one that I now have, which is this piece. It is the Realm of Middle-earth map, and this one is the Tilton Crafts version, not the Heaven and Earth design. I have had an email about this week. It is a retired design, and the last time I worked on this was a couple of months ago, and I was at 25.25%. So I picked it up again this week after my finish, and to look for something different to stitch on as well, and we're now up to 25.65%, and it's out of the frame so I can show you the full, full this piece. So let's just show you this part I worked on first. This is terrible folding, should have done this beforehand really. So I've worked on this section here, which is the bit that I've done. I've probably done a couple of thousand stitches, but because this piece is 700 and something thousand, nearly 800,000 stitches all in, it, you can work a couple of thousand stitches and not even get 1%. So there are a few hanging part threads, but let me show you this one from top left to top right, how far I am with it. So top left, I can't even see if it's in the camera here, moving through, looking over the top. So that's when it doesn't become so deep, and then there it look, we're right over to here to the top right. So yeah, just about a quarter of the way done. The fabric is enough to use as a bedspread, it's enormous. So, but yeah, I'm very pleased with this one, how it's stitching up, because when you can see the words and the beautiful, you can see the words quite clearly. Here was of old the witch realm of Aimee. You can just, even the smaller stuff, like I hit where it said Rivendell the other day, the last time I worked on this, and I could just see it so clearly. So yep, very pleased with that, and it was nice to have that one out and stitch on it again, which I haven't done for a little while. So next one off my work in progress pile. Oh, Realm of Middle Earth 25 count 1/1 full 25 count 1/1 full cross. Okay, right, so the next one is this one, and it's my Heaven and Earth design Envy, artwork by Marta Dahlig, 1 of 7. I've done 1, this is number 2, and last month we were at 9.33%, and we have now moved to 11.08%. So I'm still working down the first column, and as you can see, the ivy leaves are kind of moving round now because they come round in like a halo around the lady. and that's from top to bottom. So it's 11.08%. So that is that one. Again, very pleased with the progress on Envy. Put that one over there. Right, next one I will show you is another Heaven and Earth design. It's the Freebie. I have fat fingers and I can't always press the right button on my flipping tablet, which is a pain in the neck. Do a mock-up, and that's it. So it's the Maui Princess by Hannah Disney, as we did hammer this down last week. I've only worked a little bit on this one, and it's the one that's out on my frame today, so it's still in its frame, although last time I know I did show it sort of fully. And we haven't moved a lot on this yet, from 35.04% to 35.45%, and I'm currently working on this section here on the sun in the background, so there's lots of oranges and reds and even some pinks in there. So this is the bit that I'm working on at the moment, just trying to sort of fill in this top, then I'm going to fill in this bit and then carry on working downwards. So that's the Maui Princess. And the last one that I'm working on, which is a continuing work in progress, is this one, which is the Heaven and Earth design stitching shelf, artwork by Aimee Stewart. I'm doing the regular size max colour version, and this one I've been working 200 stitches a day, and it's, well, on the days where I know that I'm going to do a full day stitching. Like I said last time, I did have an event at the weekend, so I didn't do a full day's worth of stitching, but generally speaking I try and get in 200 stitches a day, which seems to be working because I'm seeing some progress. If I just show you what it looks like in Pattern Keeper, because this is still on the frame, I'll go far enough out so you can't actually see the pattern. So if you've been watching this for a while, you'll know I'm doing the Stitchy Mummy's typewriter method, but instead of it doing a single row, I'm doing it in a 10 deep row, you know, like the grid row, I suppose, typewriter method. I'm on the third row, and I'm, as you can see here, I'm about nearly a third of the way through the third row. So let's show you on the piece. Again, this one is in the frame because it's often on and off my stand all the time. So this is, so the third row is kind of just above my finger there. So as you can see, some of it's already been done, but I've obviously got to fill in some of it. And you know, the detail is really beautiful, and I'm actually loving watching this come out, and I'm going to try and see if I can get, you know, perhaps move up to 300 stitches a day on it, because I'm just loving it. Anything more than sort of, you know, 500 or more is exhausting because of all the colour changes. You know, you wouldn't think that cross stitch can tire you out, but mentally it absolutely can tire me out. And I realised I've done it again, but all of those 4 pieces that I've just showed you are all stitched on 25 count, 1/1 full cross, stitched on 25 count even. Excuse me, 25 count even weave. So next thing to show you is my finish, and I've been threatening to show this one on Instagram, and I just keep forgetting to take it in good light, but I'll show it here. So it's this one. It is the Visit Minas Tirith, the travel poster, one of the travel poster series from the Lord of the Rings. It's not been determined which one is next. The daughter needs to do the random comment picker, or the random number picker, whatever it is. We put them all in a wheel, and she spins it and tells me which one's next. So this one was stitched on 18 count Aida 2/1 full cross, and it just looks lovely. I really enjoyed stitching this, and it got significantly easier from about sort of here downwards, because you wouldn't think it, but in these bits there's not a lot of colours to these designs, but in these two bits there were a lot of colour changes. But yeah, I'm really pleased with it, and you know, that's now sort of number 2 is done. Excellent stuff. Right, so that's my finish. The next thing to show you is my new start. So daughter number 3 and Andy, between them, picked a new start for me because I've had 2 finishes in recent times. So I figured, what the heck, I'm due a new start. It wasn't what I intended, because I was going to look at doing my New Year New Start in October. Because I'm just, you know, I haven't started it, and although I want to start it, it's really weird, I just haven't had the impetus to start it. But because I've got 4 relatively big projects, do I really want to add another one right now? So what I figured was I would have get a selection of patterns out, of kits out, because I've got a lot of kits, and get them to choose one. So this one I'm going to be working off paper for it, so it's going to take me a bit longer, and it is this one. So it's a Dimensions Gold kit, and it's called Lakeside Village, and I purchased this one with the gift card that I got when I moved from one job to another at work earlier this year. It is stitched on 16 count blue Aida, and I have made a small start, and it looks like this. So I'm working from the middle, so the middle is actually here, and I've gone a little bit up, and then this is going to be the bottom. This is obviously the bottom right section, sort of here. The thing about dimensions kits, if you've stitched a dimensions kit, you'll know you've got 2 strand cross stitch, you've got 3 strand cross stitch, you've got 2 strand tweeded cross stitch, you've got 2 strands of one strand of another tweeded cross stitch, you've got fitting 4 strands for a half cross stitch, and you know, so that I'm kind of not looking forward to, because I'm not, I mean, I'm sure the effect will be lovely, and the textured effect of it will be fantastic, and I can't fault that. But for me, I find it difficult. I mean, already in here, the paler yellow is in 3 strands, and I found it very difficult to stitch through with, you know, with 4 on 16 count. I would imagine if it was on 14, it would be much easier. And it does look, you know, if you look close up, it does look fairly bulky. But, you know, let's see what happens with this pattern and just, you know, work forward. So when I hit my, if I hit my daily stitching goal, or beyond my daily stitching goal, which usually happens on a weekend, I'll stick in a little bit of time on this one. So that's the stitching. So 6 projects touched, 1 finished, 1 a start, 4 big ones still, you know, plodding away at them. Looking at my figures, Maui Princess is obviously the most in sort of percentage wise, and it's probably the smallest of all of them. So out of the big project, I would imagine that that one will be finished first, unless I ever push on Envy, but who knows. Anyway, moving on to other things, I have some Stitchy kindness to share with you. So Petra, who is the lady who bought me the stitching shelf, my friend from Instagram, sent me a parcel this week, and I was just, I was like a kid at Christmas, honestly, I really was. So she sent me a card. Thank you for sharing your love to cross stitch with all of us around the world, and hope you enjoy some of my whips. So what she's done is that she's had a look through a collection, and she's got some whips that needed adopting, and felt that, you know, I might be the right person to do that. And who am I to say no? I mean, heck, it's cross stitching stuff. I love cross stitch. I can't show you all of them because there are sorts of patterns, and I can't show you it's a bit, I can only show you limited portions of them. One of them is this one. It's the Cooler Classic Charts Santa's Christmas Sampler. Now you guys know me and seasonal stitching, I don't tend to do it, but I thought, yeah, you know what, we'll have a look at this one. There is also a Stitch Along, Lakeside Village Craft Fantasy Stitch Along. Excuse me. Designed by Doreen Jones. And there is also a Teresa Wentzler Camelot Sampler, which I don't have a clear cover image for. But anyway, so I've got the 3 works in progress here. So I've got, she did a very small start on the Christmas sampler, and this is on an opalescent, looks like a linen because it's got some slubs in it. So it's got some sparkle to it, and all beautifully serged as well, which is, you know, far more than I would ever do. I mean, don't know where my sewing machine, well, I do know where my sewing machine is, but you know. We've also got a small start on the Lakeside Needlecraft Doreen Jones sampler, so one of the frames there. And you know, looking at the stitching, Petra stitches in the exact same way as me, you know, with the top and the bottom, top left to bottom right, top right to bottom left. So me sort of picking this up and continuing it will just, you know, be exactly the same. This one looks like it's on either possibly an 18 count. Where's my other Minas Tirith? Soon compare them. It looks like an 18 count, but it could be a 16. I'd have to measure that one. And then the Teresa Wentzler piece is on a large piece of even weave, and you know, part of it there, it's like a shield with some sort of Celtic knots and things at the border. Let me just bring this in for a close-up. So I shall look forward to continuing on that. Just realised the lighting is really terrible this morning, so I'm really hoping that Andy can brighten this up in the editor. Also, she sent me as well something else. Oh, there it is. I was quite excited about. I've never had one of these before. So it's a Mill Hill kit, and I've seen people stitching Mill Hill. This one is Winter Holiday Collection Christmas Bells. So it's stitched on paper, and then there's some beads and some treasures and stuff inside it. And yeah, I'm quite looking forward to that. Like I said, I've never stitched a Mill Hill kit. So, and my eldest daughter's already had her eyes on it, so I might not even get to keep it. But what I'd like to do with it is I think it's designed to be a magnet, but what I'd like to do with it is to make it into a tree ornament. I think stitchy tree ornament. So there we go. So that is it. That is all the stitching, all the stitch kindness. So it's now just a little bit of channel news for you guys. Coffee. Oh. These early mornings, she says, been up 2 hours. Oh dear. Right, channel news. So I reached the 1,000 subscriber mark a couple of weeks ago. Thank you very much to everybody who subscribed, and I've also seen a few more subscribers that have come on sort of since then. I've also managed to reach the 4,000 hours minimum sort of watch time for YouTube to unlock some features. So I am now looking ahead and looking forward to see about doing, you know, potentially some live videos. I haven't got a date sort of set for them, but I figured that I might be looking at sort of New Year, because the run up to Christmas, the last couple of months of the year tend to be very busy. Last weekend I was away. I was at a hen do, which was quite nice. Then, you know, in a few weeks' time we've got the wedding. I've got some annual leave and I will be spending some time with the girls and doing my Christmas shopping. And of course, you know, in the run up to Christmas after the wedding, then it's Hannah's 21st birthday, my eldest daughter. Plus I've also got work in between. So I figure I'm looking at New Year, excuse me, to start and do some live stuff. So what I'd say is any ideas, suggestions, questions or comments, stick them down below. I do read everything that you guys put with interest. You know, I love to sort of, you know, read your comments and, you know, potentially answer them in videos. It's great. But really that's it. That's all I've got this week. It's, like I said, November now, mild at the moment, unseasonably mild here in the UK. I mean, we had a really long hot summer, so you know, it could be a little while before the cold winter, you know, really does start to hit. But anyway, I'm going to take my leave because, like I said, I've got to work today. And never mind, 3 weeks and I'll be off. Me and Andy are going away as well for part of those 3 weeks, so there will be a little bit less stitching time. One thing I've not mentioned in terms of my stitchy goals and things, I did have a you know, an aim to set myself an average of 1,000 stitches a day for this year. I am on target. In fact, I'm set at the moment to reach that target early on the 15th of December, but of course that's going to drop back as there are days that are coming up which I'm not going to stitch. So you know, the extra stitches I sort of put in the bank over the summer and the spring and the summer are actually now sort of benefiting me as I get that little bit busier in my what's the words I'm looking for? You know, I think you guys know what I mean. As I get busier sort of in life and things coming up and, you know, stuff kind of coming across, which, how dare it interrupt my stitching. But there you go. So I'm going to go and get ready for work, do a couple of bits and pieces, put my stitching, all the stitching pile here in its various places, and I will see you next week for a stitch with me. I might do it with start that again. I might do it with the new kit, with my Dimensions kit, although I might also get stitching shelf. I'm not decided yet which one to use. I think we'll decide a bit closer to the time. So I will see you all later. Thank you very much for watching. If you subscribed, thank you very much. Your support is much appreciated, and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye everybody for now.